So, as you look at the real estate industry over the last year, I've heard lots of red flags, lots of worry, lots of companies struggling. Part of it was the rapid rise in interest rates, maybe putting some downward pressure on prices. What are your biggest concerns with the real estate industry looking forward?
I'll tell you what, we saw a lot shake out over the last 6 months. I mean, man, in December of last year, I was biting my nails. I mean, it was definitely a weird time in the market. We saw national home builders really pulling back on starts. We saw development projects, getting put on hold, across the country, even in Florida, which, we're fairly insulated from the rest of the market just due to the rate of growth in Florida. Um, and, we saw reductions in asking prices on properties. So it's been just this very weird dynamic where material costs have been rising and rising and rising, all the way to near the end of 2022. Material costs were going straight up. So build costs, were going up, and as a result, home prices were going up. Well, what happened is, over the last 6 months, that build cost, it hasn't come down, but it's leveled off very, significantly. What that means from a builder standpoint is, we've been able to reduce our contingencies, that we were having to add significant contingencies on all of our pricing, through 2022. So what that's done is it's had a cooling down effect on pricing, because we're not having to build in a 10% additional contingency on every single build because prices were going up so fast. So we've actually seen our price points level out. So our price points are now level with the highest sale points that we've had, and we're actually able to keep that level. But yeah, so we've seen that the price points have continued to rise as closings have happened, and but we've been able to level that out. So we're seeing a real stabilized effect on housing pricing in Florida. We've seen pullback in some areas, and we've seen just a leveling in others, but it's basically stabilized. Which, as a real estate investor, it's odd to hear a builder say, we're thrilled for stabilization, but we absolutely are, because in our business, we need those prices to stabilize to let those rents catch up. Rents have been climbing and climbing and climbing, but it was hard for those rents to keep up with the rapid material cost increases. So a flattening of cost, a flattening of pricing, with rents now starting to rise again. Rents had flattened and even dipped a little, and now they're starting to tick back up, and we're starting to see rental velocity in most markets, not all, but most markets. We're starting to see velocity move back in the right direction. So, this is kind of a take a breath and a breather period, that I think is a really, really good time to be in the real estate business, because, from what we're seeing in new sales contracts, not only in our business, but in the retail side of the business. So as I mentioned earlier, we were bought by Sumitomo. Sumitomo completes, I don't know, something like 25,000 houses worldwide, and about 6,000, 7,000 of those are here in the United States. And their retail side of their business had the best month that it's had in April since 2021, which is when sales contracts were screaming through the roof. So I feel like this stabilization. A lot of people are out there going, "Hey, okay, the prices have stopped going up, but now everyone's starting to think that interest rates may go back down again sometime at the end of this year, beginning of next year, which is probably going to cause an additional run up in demand, because there's been such a shutdown on supply. So in every single one of our markets, we really tamped the brakes on how much supply we were putting, on the ground, as did every other home builder. I mean, we saw permits decrease by 50% in every single one of our markets. So this is a market that was already constrained from a supply perspective, that now is going to have further constraint because of these development projects that got put on hold, these homes that didn't start. And now we're starting to, get at least some indications that interest rates might start to ease. I think it's a recipe to see another run up here in 2024 and 2025.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.